Could you eat one giant meal a day, every day for a year, and lose over 100 pounds? Would you starve? Would you ruin your metabolism? Would you be hangry all day long, all year long? Would you be able to sustain it day after day for a year? And if so, would you be pathetic and deprived? You have asked the right person. I did one meal a day, OMAD, straight for 400 days. I'm 6 years in, you guys. I've tinkered with all kinds of meal approaches. And more than all that, after my unexpected story went viral, I have led thousands of people to weight loss. It all started 6 years ago when I weighed 280 pounds. 5 years ago, 140. I started the community known as Eat Like a Bear. In our first year, we had 6 people who lost at least 100 pounds. By year 2, we had 32 people.
Women's World contacted me because they learned that the Eat Like a Bear community has over 50 century cases already.
And over 100 have become a century bear, losing over 100 pounds.
Her own story has driven thousands of weight loss success cases, including 138 stories of people who've lost over 100 pounds.
She's helped at least 190 other people who also lost over 100 pounds.
And perhaps you saw us July 2023 in the Yahoo News for having over 200 people who lost at least 100 pounds. We will get into all of these important details, but first, I am not a medical professional. My leadership in the weight loss community comes solely from the point that my weight loss case went viral. However, you should know that I do have a PhD in political science. Part of my relevant background is that I worked for decades as an evaluator for government agencies examining the effectiveness of their programs. And so in 2018, when I founded the Eat Like a Bear community, I told people, I have no idea where we're going, but if you want to grab onto the wings of someone who's going to fight like heck to maintain this weight loss, you've found your girl. To do that over these 5 years, I've leveraged the knowledge we're gaining from the community. Does one meal a day work? It sure seemed like it did 5 years ago, but let's really put it to the test with thousands of people implementing it. How about a 2-meal model? Is that better? Is that worse? I don't know. Let's see what happens if thousands of people do that. Should you be mixing in extended fasts? I wonder. How about if some thousands of people try that? And so that's the spirit of what I've been doing over these 5 years. And so no, I'm not a medical professional. The dog I have in this fight is about maintaining my own weight loss and optimizing my own health. You can learn along the way, and do consult with your own medical team about your own specific circumstances. So first, to clarify, 1 meal a day, what does that mean? It means what it sounds like. You eat 1 meal a day, and then the rest of the day, you don't eat anything. That's the 1 meal model. Okay, so not to be obvious, that's the model. This is an example of the meal I ate. You'll see lots of examples right here on this channel of me whipping up salads like this and big skillet dishes. And generally, a giant meal like this would take me about an hour to eat, so for about 23 hours of the day, I didn't eat anything. And so was I starving myself? Well, yeah, I guess you can kind of think of it that way, and that was the purpose. Anyone running around this earth with an extra 140 pounds of body fat needs to do something to get rid of the fat. If you want to call it starving, then yeah. But if you mean that you're supposed to be eating all through the day, or you're supposed to be eating 3 square meals, I have never had any of my medical team be concerned that I put all of my calories and nutrition in one giant bowl. You may have reason to implement a 2-meal or a 3-meal model, but you can take what we're learning here at Eat Like a Bear and apply it to your case. In fact, if you really consider it, our ancestors ate far fewer meals than we are used to today. So this, you're starving yourself eating only 1 meal a day, that's really a psychological reaction, a fear-based reaction to something that's unusual. In this culture, we are taught to eat many, multiple times, and so it's just straight up strange to eat 1 meal a day. I thought it was strange. I thought there's no way this works as well as all this hype out there in internet land, but frankly, it was the one thing I hadn't tried. I was sure, though, that I would be hungry all the time. Hangry for sure. But an interesting thing happened. As I got used to this, as I got in that groove, my body got very hungry at the one time of day I was going to eat. I was real hungry and I was ready to eat. But the rest of the day, hunger wasn't anything like it had been my whole life. I mean, not at all. I typically ate mid to late morning. Hunger would creep up later in the day. I got in front of it with seltzers, maybe squeeze a little bit of lemon in it, and just go do projects and go to bed. Forget about it. Remember what you do today. You're training yourself for tomorrow. So you give into that hunger at 8 p.m., you're going to be hangry tomorrow night. Okay, you got to break through. breakthrough? Will it ruin your metabolism? Boy, I get these comments all the time. It's funny because they're projecting that my metabolism is about to get ruined. 6 years in, I feel like it would have happened by now. In the larger community of Eat Like a Bear, we don't have evidence that this is happening. So not just my own case, but the community at large. And I'll tell you what, if I had any evidence that it was ruining my metabolism, I wouldn't even be here now. I obviously wouldn't be promoting it. I wouldn't be promoting it some 6 years later. I wouldn't still be doing it. But in fact, I am. I expect there's something that gets confused with this whole slowing your metabolism dynamic. And this is from my observation in the community. We attract a lot of people at very high starting weights, a point that I'm very proud of, but it's highlighted an important dynamic for us. People will jump in, they'll get started. They'll see me eating this, and they'll just jump in the kitchen and make a version of their own. If you follow my YouTube videos here, or if you have any of my books or courses, you know that the meals that I make are highly specific. They're very crafted. There's 4 layers of the salad, there's 4 layers of the skillet, as I talk about. It's all leveraged for bulk, for calorie mindedness, crafted balanced nutrition. It's so simple that it's very easy to take for granted. And what I see happening is that people will essentially eat something that looks a lot like this, but probably has more calories. It's so easy to do. My weight loss meals had 1,000 to 1,200 calories. That's pretty low calorie. It's not as low as bariatric surgery, but it's pretty darn low. And that calorie amount got me all the way to the finish line. But imagine you start at 300 pounds, you're not paying much attention to calories, because I do also teach we shouldn't measure and be obsessed over this stuff, and we shouldn't. But if you're then putting on the extra cheese and nuts and whatever else it is, and you are eating, say, 1,800 calories, that's going to take you a long way. You're going to be in a calorie deficit because you're flipping 300 pounds. Have you ever considered the extra calories you burn when you weigh 300 pounds instead of 200 pounds? And so you come to Eat Like a Bear, you start out at 300 pounds. And you start on your big old meal, maybe putting a lot of extra olive oil, a lot of extra nuts and cheese in there, and you grind all the way to 200 pounds. But then you start noticing your weight loss is slowing, and you think, oh dear God, this is what I was told. My metabolism has slowed. Well, you are now carrying 100 pounds less. You don't need the same calories you needed at 300 pounds to maintain your 300-pound weight. And now you might be eating in a maintenance calorie amount. So you're going to have to trim the meals up a bit to get to 150. That doesn't mean your metabolism slowed. Rather, congratulations, you just lost 100 pounds and you're not carrying it all around requiring extra calories. I mean, that's amazing. That's good news. That's not bad news. And can you really sustain this day after day, week after week, month after month, and for the rest of your life? I get the comment all the time, this is not sustainable. If you tell me it's not sustainable for you, I believe you. And that's okay. We can still be friends. Don't tell me it's not sustainable for me. I'm the one who's 6 years in. And in these 6 years, I've played around a lot with variations. In early videos on this channel, I said that my maintenance was very likely going to look like a 2-meal model where I just kind of split my calories up. I said, you know, obviously this intermittent fasting thing works for me and I need to keep doing it, but I'm going to have more meals because I wanted to eat more meals. I mean, who doesn't want to eat more meals? You're always going to want to eat more meals. But more than wanting to eat more meals, I want my life to be easier, not harder. I don't want to struggle with the weight. And 1 meal a day is easier. It's kind of crazy. I have really gotten in an eat and walk away mindset. Eat and go be awesome. If it's a 2-meal day, I'm going to eat. I'm going to have maybe a few hours between one meal and the next. And then I'm going to go out and I'm going to just crush it for the day. I enter the go be awesome phase of the day. And what sometimes makes those 2 meals harder is in between the first and the second. Do you know what I'm thinking about most of the time? I'm thinking about the second meal. I'm tired of thinking about food all the time. I'm tired of this food noise rolling around in my head. I'm going to eat. I'm going to enjoy the flavors of it. This is a pleasant meal. I know people say the lettuce is boring and it has no flavor. I can add my favorite flavor to the dressings in here and be very satisfied. Enjoy it and walk away. when times are hard, when my maintenance was severely challenged by a wildfire that came through here. It burned up my whole lifestyle. I leaned into the 1 meal model. Now, that said, we have many people in the community implementing 2 meals, implementing 3 meals. Bariatric bears, members of the community who've had bariatric surgery, sometimes have 3 meals, but they don't space them out all day long. They try to keep them in a window. My husband has a higher calorie need. He eats 2 meals for weight loss. Very often has something like eggs for 1 meal and then something like this for the second. In fact, if I can keep the flies off of this, he's about to eat this very salad. It works for him. And so then is the 1 meal model best for weight loss? You already know the answer. Ask my husband, he would say 2 meals. Ask a bariatric bear who might say 3 meals. For me, 1 meal. But it's interesting out there in 2023, 1 meal a day has been fairly popular for the last 5 years. And there are claims now that it doesn't work. I find those claims to be extraordinary. I mean, it seems to me that it works. We have a lot of evidence in our community that it works. We do see people hitting stalls because their meals probably have more calories than they actually need. And so if one concern is that we need to eat more than 1 meal a day, 3 meals, 4, 5, 6 little meals a day, we get comments on the other end of the spectrum that eating every single day is too much eating, that there are days that you need to take off the eating and eat nothing. And here on this channel, you'll see that I did actually jumpstart this with a long extended fast that was medically supervised. And a lot of people interested in extended fasting find me, and so I get this question a lot. There may be various medical reasons that your doctor is going to have you do a longer extended fast. Insulin resistance comes to mind. But in general, part of what you're doing in this is you're crafting your daily eating habit. And my concern with overly relying on extended fasting, that is going to zero for eating for days at a time, that you're not developing good habits for the long term. My concern is that when you're going to zero on a lot of days for the weight loss, you need to really watch what you're eating when you are eating and make sure you're not going over your regular maintenance calories, because what you want to do is come out of all of this with a daily eating habit that is going to sustain you into the future. I feel so very lucky that I really did craft a meal approach for myself that was so effective for weight loss, but that also got me into a really great lifetime habit. It's what we all need to find. And so I mentioned I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not trying to get this in peer-reviewed journals. I don't actually care. I don't have time in my now 54-year-old life to wait for answers from peer-reviewed journals. I use data from today in my life to make tomorrow easier. And some of that data comes from the thousands of members of the Eat Like a Bear community. You too can look at your own life and fine-tune the eating model that you're implementing and craft an eating model that is going to help you get out and live your most vibrant life. That is what we do here at Eat Like a Bear. For many of us, it looks like 1 meal a day. Is 1 meal a day sad and pathetic? From here, it looks pretty good. Go be awesome, guys.